the youngest all-star, Jesus Montero.
Pineda and Montero, both exciting prospects. Big trade between the Yankees and the Mariners. We bring in Dave Cameron, editor of FanGraphs.com and co-founder of the Mariners blog, USSMariner.com. Dave, great to have you on the show. First of all, what do you think of this monstrous deal?
Yeah, I think this is one of those classic old-fashioned baseball trades that has to get you excited, where it's two teams trading from positions of strength with guys that might not have fit their exact roster and making each other better. I think this deal has a chance to be a win-win for both sides, and I like that we actually see a baseball trade that's not based on salary or a player demanding a trade to change cities. It's just a nice, good old-fashioned, my good players for your good players, and we'll see who turns out better.
Dave, I know you dig very deep into the analytics on FanGraphs, so I mean, Pineda, I'll just throw this at you first, though, because you look at the home road splits. Pineda has a 2.92 ERA at home, 4.40 on the road as a rookie, and he does pitch in the pitcher's park. What do you expect from him going forward outside of Safeco?
Yeah, I think one of the things about Safeco Field, it's definitely a pitcher-friendly park, but it skews way more pitcher-friendly for left-handed pitchers than right-handed pitchers because the park is asymmetrical, and the left center field area is really where the ball doesn't carry. So as a right-hander, Pineda didn't actually get that big of a benefit from Safeco Field, at least not compared to what you might think when you look at Safeco overall. And if you look at his road numbers, the 4.40 ERA might sound a little high, but if you look at his walk rate, his strikeout rate, his fly ball rate, the things that actually predict ERA better than past ERA, they would have expected to have an ERA of about 3.5 instead of 4.4. I think that's probably a better idea of what Pineda was on the road last year rather than looking at ERA. If you put it in a 3.5 range, that's still a really good starting pitcher.
Well put, well put. Hey, it all comes down, of course, Dave, to needs of the team. But all in all, just looking at things equally, pitching prospect, hitting prospect, what does history tell us about these deals? Which player is normally more valuable?
I think just due to the injury risk and the attrition of young pitchers, you almost always want the hitter if two players are equal. Pitching is hard to find, and there's the old cliche that says pitching wins championships, but pitchers also get hurt an awful lot. And we've seen a lot of good young starting rotations get decimated with arm injuries. I talked about on Twitter 10 years ago, would you rather have had Josh Beckett or Mark Teixeira? They were 1-2 in baseball in terms of good young players. Beckett was a guy that very few teams would have given up, but Teixeira's been the more valuable player since then because Beckett's had the blister problems, he's had his innings limited, and I think if you have a good young hitter and a good young pitcher, you probably want the good young hitter.
From the Mariners' point of view, Dave, why deal Pineda entering his age 23 season and not King Felix entering his age 26 season?
Well, I think certainly enough teams have called about Felix that they had their opportunities if they wanted to move him, but there's a significant attendance problem in Seattle. They've been hemorrhaging fans for the last couple of years, and I think on the heels of Texas bidding for Yu Darvish and the Angels doing what they did with Pujols and C.J. Wilson, it'd be a really tough sell to their fan base to say, come to watch the Mariners play. By the way, we traded Felix Hernandez after our opponents got a lot better this winter. So I think they, just from an organizational standpoint, trading Felix wasn't a very good idea in terms of keeping the revenues flowing. And with Pineda, they have some good young pitching with Danny Holtzen and James Paxton and Taijuan Walker. They've got some arms coming who can replace him within a year or two. And I think their plan is, let's try and see if these kids can surround Felix and put a winning team on the field and get people back to Safeco Field.
Dave, quickly, who wins this deal?
I think the Yankees got a really good pitcher at a less than market price when you look at the Gio Gonzalez and Matt Latos trades. So I think they have to be considered the winners, but I think this deal could work out for the Mariners too. If Montero turns into the hitter that people think he's going to turn into, and the young pitchers develop and replace Pineda, and the Mariners are able to score some more runs than they have in the past and get some more fans to the ballpark, this deal could work out for both teams. Dave
Cameron of FanGraphs. Dave, stay right there. We're going to come back to you later in the show. It's a good pitcher who's out there now, a little older, but we're going to put Roy Oswalt into the shredder. Coming up, we're talking big-time prospects. Who are the best prospects overall for the coming season? Jonathan Mayo joins us on Clubhouse Confidential next.